All right, this is section 3.1 and it is called functions. So we're going to go over a definition before we start. So a function has an input for every output. So every input has one output. All right, so let's look at an example. A, B, C, and then over here I have 1, 2, 3. So let's say that this was the problem and you look every input, so the input is A, your output here is 1. So that has one output. B has the output of 3. C has the output of 2. So yes, this is a function. Let's do another example. All right, so look at your inputs. A goes to 2, B goes to 2, and C goes to 3. So each input had one output. So this is still a function, even though A and B went to 2, they still each only went to one output. So this is a function. Now let's say we had this. Okay, so if you look at your input of A, it's going to 1 and 2, and you can't have two outputs. So this one is not a function. All right, we're going to work on question number 24 from your book. So 24 says, determine whether each relation represents a function. For each function, state the domain and the range. Okay, this was the problem that they gave you on number 24. So you have to look at your inputs. So your inputs are your x's, your outputs are the y values. So -4 goes to 4, -3 goes to 3, -2 goes to 2, -1 goes to 1, -4 goes to 0. So you have the input has two outputs. So this is no because of the -4. And since it's not a function, you do not need to state the domain and range. If you did need to state the domain and range, your domain is all the x values listed. Your range would be all the y values listed. But if it's not a function, you just put no, the reason, and move on. Okay, next one we're going to work on is number 56. 56 says find the domain of each function. And I definitely saw one of these on the test before. Okay, so this is definitely something similar will be on the test to this. Okay, so to find the domain, you just set the part underneath the square root greater than or equal to 0. And then you solve for x. Okay, so we're going to -1 on each side. So negative x is greater than or equal to -1. And then you need to divide by -1 or multiply by -1. When you do that on both sides, you have to flip your inequality sign. So we have x is less than or equal to 1. So this would be all real numbers except x is less than or equal to 1. If they want it in interval notation, you're going to put -infinity to 1. 1 has a bracket because this has a bar underneath. If there was no bar underneath, this would be a parenthesis set. Okay? And if you were to graph this, it makes sense. You would be over here, and your graph would look like that. So it's all the numbers less than 1. Okay, 63 is the next one we're going to work on. Okay, 63. For the given function f and g, find the following, and then it has parts a through h. I'm not going to do all of those parts. We're going to look at d and g. Okay, so 63, they give you f of x equals x minus 1, and g of x equals 2x squared. Okay, so part D says f divided by g of x. So all you have to do is take the f part, put it on the top. That's going to be your numerator. And then your g part's going to be your denominator. So you just put it like this, over 2x squared, and you're finished. That's all they want you to do. Okay, g says f dot g of 2. All right, so the first thing that you have to do is this part here. When you get your answer for that, then you're going to plug 2 into that equation that you got. Okay, so we're going to start with the f, which is x minus 1. You're going to put your dot there, coming from there. Your dot means times. Your g is 2x squared. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go through and you're going to do the distributive property. So you're going to distribute here, and then you'll distribute over here. So 2x squared times x, 2x to the third, 2x squared times -1, -2x squared. So this is the f dot g part. Now all we have to do is plug 2 into the x's. So 2 parentheses, and that 2 came from there. Our x is 2 to the third power minus this 2 is coming from here, and that x is coming from up here. Lots of 2's in that problem. Okay, so 2 to the third power is 2 times 2 times 2 times another 2. That's going to be 16. 2 squared times a 2 is 8, and 16 minus 8 is 8, and that would be your answer. All right.